Today we're going to explore reaching the consumer through different types of financial advisors. We're going to look at the problems and the potential in 3 different models. The financial advisors in wirehouses, big stock brokerage houses, etc. Then we'll look at the independent financial planners who have their practices out there. And then finally, fee-only financial advisors working with long-term care insurance specialists. The first speaker today, he'll be looking at the big stock brokerages and big wirehouses, banks, etc. It's Jeremy Pincus. Jeremy is principal of Forbes Consulting Group, which provides fact-based consulting services in retirement, financial, and health planning. Before going to Forbes, he served as Director of Research and Product Development for the Long-Term Care Division at John Hancock, where he directed the joint research program with the NCOA, National Council on the Aging. He's founder and co-chairman of the Baby Boomer Task Force, which is a national task force trying to figure out how to wake up the boomers. And he is also a member of the Washington-based think tank, the Long-Term Care Financing Strategy Group. Jeremy holds a doctoral in social psychology from the University of Connecticut and is a fellow of the Employee Benefit Research Institute. Second speaker today will be Alan Goldfarb. Alan is Chief Financial Strategist for Weaver and Tidwell Financial Advisors. Here, he's local. Mr. Goldfarb is also the Director of Financial Services MBA program at the University of Dallas's Graduate School of Management and Executive Director for the Southwest Institute for Personal Financial Education. Alan's been named 5 times by Worth Magazine to its top financial advisor list. He served as National Vice Chairman of Planned Giving for the American Heart Association and on the National Board of the IAFP. Also as Chairman of the Certified Financial Planner Board of Professional Review, and he's now serving as a member of the Board of Directors of the CFP Board of Standards. He earned his undergraduate degree in Engineering and Management from Fairleigh Dickinson, another New Jersey boy. His MBA in Economics and Management from University of North Texas. His CFP, his Accredited Investment Fiduciary designation from the Center for Fiduciary Studies at University of Pittsburgh. I always wanted to meet somebody who was on the NASD District Business Conduct Committee, and I finally have. And he's a securities arbitrator and mediator with the American Arbitration Association, as well as the New York Stock Exchange. I'm Nancy Morath, and I'll be the 3rd speaker and moderator today. I have a small little business down in Princeton, New Jersey, and I do personal production of long-term care insurance as a specialist and also consulting to associations, and I serve as an adjunct faculty member at the American College in Bryn Mawr. So I do a bit of academic stuff too, which I really appreciate. So without further ado, we'll turn this over to Jeremy, who will look at the big wirehouses and stock brokerage firms.
Okay. Thanks, Nancy. Just to kick things off, I thought I'd tell you, is there interest right now? This is a rhetorical question. Is there interest among stockbrokers, wirehouses in this? I was just speaking at the Charles Schwab as this annual conference in Washington, D.C. called the Impact Conference. I was really excited to talk about something other than long-term care for a chance, just for a change. I was speaking about longevity risks. I was speaking about annuities and longevity insurance. I had slides about the pyramids in Egypt. I talked about the first emperor of China, Imperial China. I talked about new science on aging, DNA replication, how you preserve the telomeres so that people can live longer, and all this exciting breakthrough stuff that's happening. And when it came time for Q&A at the end, I got 30 minutes of questions about nothing but long-term care. So that tells me something. I mean, I think there is a lot of latent interest out there. It's just, hasn't really been tapped, I think, effectively. All right. Basically, I'm going to go over this in 2 stages. First, I'm going to talk about it from 2 different perspectives, from the carrier view and from the distributor view. If you're a carrier, there's some things you care about, why you need long-term care to be sold through financial advisors, financial consultants. Essentially, you need more sales. And this is a fantastic market. It's like the Fort Knox of prospect lists. These are people with money, they're planners, they have assets to protect. They're the people you need, and this is the gate to getting them. If you're a financial advisor, on the other hand, you don't have that incentive. They're already your client. You're already making money. So what is it? I think it's much more about fiduciary responsibility to that person, and plus a little bit of protecting those assets under management. We'll get to that in more detail. Okay. First, the carrier perspective. And this, if you're with a carrier, this is not news to you. Essentially, there's a shortage of agents right now. There's something like 340,000 agents out there right now. But between the career agents over here, which are declining, and the independent brokers, 161,000 of them, which is increasing, but a lot. How many people actually sell a lot of long-term care? About 8,000 are certified in CLTC, 2,000 at LTCP, 13,000 are CSA. Of course, this includes other people who are funeral directors and other things like that. So it's about 8,000 to 10,000 people. The problem with that is there just aren't enough people to reach the market, particularly this market. Why is current distribution inadequate? I did a quick sort of back of the envelope calculation. If these 8,000 specialists sold a policy every single day, all year, boom, 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 every day, they'd reach 2% of the market in a year. So that's not going to be the solution, and I think the carriers know that. There's a little bit of a bottleneck there, which is what I was trying to convey with that funnel. The other real issue here is that premiums on new policies have risen. Again, this is not news to anybody. It's been for a while. But the problem with that is, we did this analysis for a big segmentation study that I ran a couple of years back. And we looked at demand versus price. And what we found was this demand curve that basically says, as you raise the price by 1 unit, demand decreases by more than 1 unit. The price elasticity of demand is larger than 1 unit. The problem is, as you raise price on new premiums, demand shrinks. This is the demand here. Price goes up, demand pulls back. That's a problem. What that means is you have to sell to people who have more money, right? The more affluent people become more of your target market over time. And again, that highlights the need to go after the financial advisor's client base. Another solution to this, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, but this is just another thing that's happening. Distribution is shifting from one-to-one sales to one-to-many sales. This is the other way to try to get around this. If your acquisition costs can be spread across more sales, you're more efficient. And we see more move into employer-sponsored. Actually, the last presentation in this room was about what I thought of as more of a traditionally individual carrier, now trying to sell group, multi-life sales, national partnership, all vehicles to sell to lots of people through a more streamlined sales process. Okay, so that's the carrier perspective. In terms of distributors, this is the way one guy who's a wholesaler for one of the major carriers put it to me. He said, out there, you either have tight corporate control over what's happening within the various channels, or you've got the Wild West, and sometimes within the same company. So what that means is you can have a structure in place where there's rules, there's contracts, there's agreements, but then at the local level, there's guys who just do business with anybody. They've got a whole network of agents that they work with, or maybe they write the policies themselves. It can be all over the board. I thought that was a nice analogy that he gave me. Essentially, what you've got here is a distribution that goes across this whole continuum from a lot of extra support needed over here, where you've got referrals to an LTC specialist. Essentially, the financial advisor gets the lead of one kind, client brings it up, hears about it, and they want to preserve the relationship, so they just refer it out to an LTC specialist that they have arranged. Far other end of this is just telesales. We'll talk about some companies that do that. Essentially, what you've got here is the major problem here is it doesn't keep the relationship within the wirehouse. This is their major concern. They really don't like going out of house en masse. There's some people, Edward Jones, for example, they feel more comfortable with that. It's more of a local value proposition. There's also lower commission earned for them. They're not really that concerned about that, frankly. But it's a much higher close ratio if you're dealing with professionals, people who know how to close this business. And there's very little effort for the financial advisor. They can get back to doing what they want to do. The far other end is telesales. They get to keep the commission. It really isn't much effect on the financial consultant, the financial advisor. This would be, I won't get ahead of myself, but let me go to an example next about that. Here are my examples. So you USAA and Fidelity are kind of telesales groups. They've centralized 800 numbers. Somebody in the field, in one of their contacts, long-term care comes up. They bang, give them the 800 numbers, send them in there. They try to sell it on the phone. USAA, that's their role as well. These guys over here, Keycorp, PBS, they refer out to some specialists. And then you have these sort of hybrids in the middle. And this is sort of the majority, I think, right now in terms of the dominant model. So it's solo selling by broker with an insurance carrier wholesaler who's supporting it. It has been really fairly ineffective, I think, overall. The way it was described to me is the wholesaler comes in, they buy everybody lunch, a couple times a year. Everybody comes in, they eat the sandwich, they go away, and that's it. No action. Except for the one guy in the office who's got religion about this, and he's doing it anyway. So they didn't need to give him the sandwich. That's sort of the situation for these guys. Partnership selling is where you have either an internal or external sort of regional specialist who helps on the ground. He's sort of dedicated to these offices, and anytime long-term care comes up, that person comes in and does the meeting. This is where partnership selling. Okay, just a quick moment on Fidelity. We call it active experimentation. Back in the 90s, up to around 2004, they just went through this model I proposed before, which is inbound calls come in. They go to Fidelity Investment Life Insurance Company. The product is a Hancock product. They go to a call center, referrals. There was no hands-on, no face-to-face, everything by phone, everything remote. Average of 5% engagement. That means 5% of their people who had this come up actually discussed it and then had somebody follow through and make the call. So the close ratio was too small to even give a number, and they moved around it to 0. So that's why the dotted line occurred, which was they decided to go with a different product. I don't think the product had that much to do with it directly, but they have Fidelity Retirement Income Advantage. It's a whole new sort of umbrella that wraps up lots of different parts of retirement planning. And now this retail branch-based licensed advisors, again, Fidelity likes to keep things in-house. They don't like creating relationships outside of Fidelity. So now they have more face-to-face contact, and the close ratio, I don't know what the close ratio is. I doubt it's that very frankly, because these people are, they're internal people. I doubt they've bought sort of the best talent that's out there. Okay. Why do investment firms distribute long-term care insurance? There's sort of 5 reasons it came up, and my initial instinct was that maybe it would be something about they want information. There's all this commission due. They've got this huge customer base, and it's calculated through. If I got this commission on half of my base, they're all pre-qualified, they all have the assets to protect. They're planners. It should be easy, right? It turns out that's not that important. And having an additional product for the financial consultant to sell more information for them, for the person, for their employee, that's not that important either. What it's really all about is making a single source of retirement financial planning for their clients. This one-stop shop. The other thing is protecting client relationships with competitive financial planners who lead to long-term care insurance. This is a way, again, to keep the client relationship. Don't let it happen. And finally, protecting assets under management from long-term care expenses. If you're more forethought, if you're more forward-thinking financial advisor, you're thinking, I've got all these assets. What's the single biggest risk to these assets that I make all this money off every year? It's long-term care. And it takes a little bit of education to get to there.
A lot of education.
Yeah, that's right. It was an understatement.
Correct.
Why are so few policies actually sold, though? Number one, I think, would be skepticism toward expensive insurance solutions. They have whole life versus investment. They sort of predispose against insurance solutions. They like investment to solve anything. I had this presentation at Schwab. I talked about inflation. I talked about all these things, longevity. Most people's answer was, more risk. Start younger, put in more. They're not into insurance solutions. Number two, they're unfamiliar with long-term care issues. They want to demonstrate their ignorance to their clients. To their clients, they want to be sort of godlike. They see all, they know all. Like Oz, If they talk about long-term care, it's pretty evident they don't know what they're talking about. Hence the need for somebody else, which they don't want to do. It's easier not to talk about. Really transaction focused. How do they actually make their money? They make their money by clicking. And I thank you, Nancy, for the metaphor. They click. Every time they click, they make money. And if they spend their time, if they tell their boss, well, my clicks are down this week because I was working on protecting the important assets of my clients by working on care apps and checking in on underwriting status and having these face-to-face meetings and making sure I customize the solution. Like I can't. Number 4, stockbrokers are not motivated to get licensed and retain licensure or recertification. Again, if they have business in more than one state, it becomes a huge problem. If they get licensed in all the states you do business, a lot of these guys get their big-time financial consultants. Their people can go over the country. That's just not an option for them. Much easier to get your licensure for your core business and securities. And then again, can't hammer this one enough. Stockbrokers are reluctant to open up their client relationships to insurance agents. Again, if the person is really good and really slick and great, makes them look good, then they're worried that person could steal their business away. If they really are horrible and terrible and offensive, then it reflects badly on them for arranging this relationship. So it's not a lot of winning options for them. So I think the bottom line is really aligning incentives here. Getting them to understand that this is perhaps fiduciary responsibility that they have to their clients. Really getting that point across. And the self-interest of protecting the assets that they manage. I think that it has to be something where there's some fear, there's some greed involved, using those 2 levers in order to get people aligned on that. Anything else, I think, commission, they don't care about. So I would say, don't waste your time there. And that's it for mine.